issued for our area, and also, of course, an active tropics picture, including our new tropical depression in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. So this is in the Bay of Campeche. Tropical Depression 3 could briefly become a tropical storm, but it's very close to moving inland into Mexico off to the west. So this will not be a long-term kind of thing. Might briefly become a tropical storm, maybe Chris, and then move into Mexico tonight and early tomorrow. We also have Beryl, of course, which has massively strengthened today to a Category 4. Just yesterday, it became a hurricane, a Category 1, and now today, a major hurricane, Category 4 status, and winds steady through the afternoon at about 130 miles per hour or so. It is moving quickly still, and you can see that very classic structure. Places like Grenada, Barbados, this southern part of the Windward Islands are going to be looking for big impacts, including surge, rain, and of course, very high winds tonight and into tomorrow. It will probably still be a Category 4 and maybe then eventually 3 as it gradually weakens across the Caribbean Sea. And then by the time it reaches the Western Caribbean and Yucatan, it might be a Category 2. So all of this intensity forecast and even the path, of course, a bit tentative, the more so farther out in time you go. But it does look like sometime around Friday and next weekend, it will be somewhere near Yucatan and the southern Gulf, maybe the southwestern Gulf. And it doesn't appear right now like it will take that turn to the north, although let me show you a few of our models and different things just to get a better picture of what plays or what factors will be in play. First of all, it may weaken due to this increased wind shear that you can see here across the Caribbean. Models in pretty good consensus taking it out to the west-northwest. And then interestingly, they do have it making it to the southwestern Gulf and maybe taking a quick turn off to the northwest, somewhere into northern Mexico or maybe even southern Texas. Now, I want to point out this is next weekend's placement that we're talking about, so this could easily change a little bit, but this is the thinking right now, at least somewhere into that western part of the Gulf of Mexico, and that would be because we still have a big high potentially that might be along the Gulf Coast and the eastern part especially of the Gulf Coast. Quick check on Beryl with some of the things. It's the strongest June hurricane on record, earliest Category 4 in the Atlantic Basin. And just since last night, winds jumped by 45 miles per hour, 85 miles per hour to now 130. And there is another system out behind. This one potentially could get the name. If this one doesn't get Chris, then this one would get Chris. And the name after that is Debbie. So we will see if we have two systems out in the Atlantic crossing into the Caribbean Sea as we move through this week. So we have a lot of time to watch both of these. This takes us all the way to Thursday, several days out. Now this would be on the 4th of July, possibly the two systems out here. Just to give you a look at one model showing it what might happen. Again, this is just one model run, so this one's taking it a little farther north into southern Texas, weakening a little bit with this next system somewhere around Cuba. So we will see, but this big high is going to be a big player for the Gulf Coast in determining eventually where this system may end up. If it sneaks a little off to the east, that may be what allows Beryl to maybe curve a little bit more to the northwest. So we will see, but at this point into next weekend, it still could be very much over a big chunk of the southeastern U.S. or into the Gulf Coast, the northern and central part of the Gulf Coast. So, of course, we'll continue to track it. For now, the Lesser Antilles certainly looking for impacts, but we have no short-term impacts for the Gulf Coast. And even long-term, we'll be watching it as next weekend, so a full week from now, it will just be into the southern Gulf. A more immediate concern for our weather is the heat. We have an excessive heat warning issued once again tomorrow, second day in a row. But this time it's for a feels like temperature up to 118. So that would be a really, really oppressive and muggy heat index. Right now we're in the upper 80s to lower 90s with the feels like temperature around 110 in spots and a decent bit of some scattered rain gently moving north to south. So we'll finish up with that this evening. Tonight, a low chance for rain, but tomorrow we'll bring it back with 40% rain chance, and the big high may dry us out and keep us really hot and steamy into the 4th of July and next weekend.
A former LSU Tiger makes history